Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving headfirst into one of the biggest, most common fears in the entire world of fitness.
You know the one. This question is on everybody's mind, whether you're a seasoned marathon runner or you're just thinking about maybe going for a light jog around the block. I bet you've heard the warnings from a friend, your parents, or maybe even just that little voice inside your own head.
And you know what? It's a totally understandable fear. The logic seems so simple, and it's actually based on a very real force that your body has to deal with every single time you run.
So let's start by unpacking why this myth feels so real. Why do we all kind of instinctively believe that pounding the pavement day after day has got to be bad for our joints?
Well, get this. Every single time your foot hits the ground when you're running, your body absorbs a force that's 2 to 3 times your own body weight. So yeah, it's really easy to picture that load just slamming right into your knee joint, and it does. But here's the twist. That impact? It's not the villain we all think it is.
And that brings us to this really fascinating, almost counterintuitive idea. What if that repeated impact, the very thing we're so scared of, is actually what helps our knees stay strong? What if running doesn't wear them down at all? What if it actually builds them up?
This really gets to the heart of the whole thing. We've got to shift how we think. The myth sees your body like a car, with parts that just get old and wear out over time. But the reality? Your body is a living, breathing, dynamic system. It's actually designed to respond to the stress you put on it by adapting and getting stronger. It doesn't just put up with stress. It actually needs it to stay healthy.
And there's some really cool science to back this up. So, when you run, your knee cartilage actually gets squeezed and compressed. Now that might sound bad, but researchers think this process is like a pump, helping to push nutrients into the cartilage, which lets it repair itself and get stronger. And get this, studies show that runners tend to have thicker knee cartilage and even better bone density than people who don't run. The evidence is pretty clear. Running seems to be actively good for your knees.
Okay, so running can be good for your knees. But maybe you're thinking, that's great, but I'm a bit older. Is there a point where it's just too late to start, where the risks are just too high?
Well, to answer that, let's look at something even more intense: plyometric training. This is basically a fancy term for high-intensity exercises that involve a lot of jumping. And the key thing to know here is that it puts way higher loads on your joints than running ever does.
Now, here's the amazing part. Studies have shown that even adults over 65 can safely and effectively do this kind of high-impact training and see real improvements in their strength. Just think about that for a second. If our bodies can adapt to that level of stress, it's a super strong sign that starting to run, even later in life, is a totally safe and achievable goal.
Okay, so you're on board. Running isn't the enemy. But that brings up the big question, right? How do you actually do it in a way that helps your body adapt instead of just hurting?
The absolute #1 key is just giving your body time to adapt. Please, don't go from the couch to a 5K in one weekend. Start simple, with intervals. You walk for a bit, then you jog for a bit. Then next week, maybe you jog a little longer. It's this slow, steady progression that lets your entire system, your bones, your cartilage, your muscles, get stronger without getting overwhelmed.
And here are 3 huge tips to keep in mind. First, progress slowly. A really good rule of thumb is not to increase your total weekly distance by more than a couple of kilometers. Second, fuel yourself properly. You need enough carbs for energy and protein for recovery. Don't skip it. And third, think about where you're running. Softer surfaces like a grassy field or a trail can mean a lot less impact, which is great, especially when you're just starting out.
So if running itself isn't the villain, then why on earth do almost half of all runners get injured every single year, with the knee being one of the most common spots? What is the real roadblock here?
And here is the answer right from an exercise scientist named Hunter Bennett. The problem isn't the activity, it's how we go about it. Almost all running injuries are what we call overuse injuries, and they're caused by bad load management, which is just a technical way of saying doing too much too soon. The problem isn't running, it's running harder or longer than your body is ready for, which means we've been asking the completely wrong question this whole time. The real question isn't, can my knees handle running? The real question is, am I ready to build them? The power isn't in avoiding the impact, it's in smartly, patiently building your body's amazing ability to thrive on it. Thanks for joining this explainer.